Welcome to the Recovery Cast, brought to you by Hills and Rangers Private.
Welcome to the Recovery Cast, brought to you by Hills and Rangers Private. My name is Oliver and I'm a former alcoholic and addict now in recovery. The Recovery Cast is a podcast created by people in recovery from alcoholism and addiction for people in recovery from alcoholism and addiction. This podcast is meant as a support tool for those in recovery. Everyone who participates in the podcast is in an active recovery program. We are not affiliated with any one recovery methodology and will focus on a variety of different types of recovery, including 12-step recovery, otherwise known as Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, and other things like Smart Recovery, Celebrate Recovery, Recovery Dharma, Cognitive Behavioural Therapy, and more. And a quick disclaimer, this podcast is intended to be informative. A podcast alone cannot support your sobriety and recovery, so we suggest it only as one component of a daily recovery routine. For more information on what recovery is, please go to www.rehab.melbourne. Hello, Alexis. How are you?
I'm good. What's up, man? How are you?
Not much, man.
Man.
I'm just sitting here listening to the tradesmen cutting metal on the other side of my wall. Hopefully they won't interrupt us. What are we going to talk about today?
Today is December the 10th for Alcoholics Anonymous Daily Reflections, and the topic is carrying the message.
Ooh.
So the reading is, now, what about the rest of the 12th step? The wonderful energy it releases and the eager action by which it carries our message to the next suffering alcoholic, and which finally translates the 12 steps into action upon all our affairs, is the payoff. The magnificent reality of Alcoholics Anonymous, 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 109. To renounce the alcoholic world is not to abandon it, but to act upon principles I have come to love and cherish, and to restore in others who still suffer the serenity I have come to know. When I am truly committed to this purpose, it matters little what clothes I wear or how I make a living. My task is to carry the message and to lead by example, not design. That's pretty sweet, isn't it?
It made about as much sense to me as alphabet soup chewed up and spat out onto a plate.
Delicious.
However, 12 step, I guess.
Yeah.
Carrying the message.
Yeah, so, you know what, when I was doing my 12th step, I had a full panic attack because I was just like, oh my God, now I have to give back. Now I have to care enough about people and not be so self-obsessed, and I have to contribute to the program because you got to, give it away if you want to keep it. And I was scared. I was so scared of the idea of sponsoring, and I was putting all this forethought into the future things that at that point in time hadn't happened yet. And yeah,
I think, the practicing the principles in all our affairs is kind of something that I can get my head around, because I have to, and if I don't, I will suffer. But the helping, I'm not sponsoring anyone at the moment. There are people that there's people who have my number who I've agreed to sponsor, but they never call me, and I don't call them. My sponsor doesn't call me, unless he wants something, in which case, okay. But, we're meant to ring our sponsors. So for all you people in early recovery, ring your fucking sponsor.
Call your fucking sponsor.
Because we don't ring you, and who's going to, it's not our job. We're not your babysitter.
Yeah, that's it. If my sponsees are listening to this, fucking call me.
It's... They don't make it, I've had that many people ask me and then they never call, or there's that many people that are really keen and then I never see them at a meeting again. Yeah. And you've got to want it, and I think I will drive people home from meetings. Whenever I have money, I will buy someone a basic text at a meeting. If I see a newcomer, I love doing that. The look on their little sad faces when I'm like, Aww. Have this. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, of course. What are you talking about? It's $15.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And it gives me a little kick. It's like sponsoring a child or something.
Amnesty International.
Yeah, but no, we don't mention. We might get sued. we might
my
get
bad.
sued. But, no, seriously, nobody ever bought me actually, no, my sponsor did buy me a book.
Nobody ever bought me a fucking book.
Yeah, well,
I feel ripped off,
hopefully
mate.
you've stayed around long enough to buy yourself a book.
Yeah, I've got the literature.
Oh, good.
I've got it. Don't worry.
I don't read it.
Yeah, I don't read it.
Anyway, no, actually, real talk though. Yeah, no, we've got like people helped me and I helped them, and the fact that I give back in other ways. Like I present for hospitals and institutions, so I go into rehabs or whatever, and share my story. And there are people that have come, into a meeting and said, "Hey, dude, don't you remember me? I was at this in such rehab." I'm like, "Nope, don't remember you at all, but good on you for making it." And they actually get clean. Like they stay clean. And there are people that I've watched struggle through it. And I've had guests on this podcast. Actually, I've got to have them back on to check in with them and share their success stories with everybody who's listening here. But yeah, they get it. They get it, and it's wonderful when it actually works, when the program actually works in that regard of helping people and they get it. But not everybody does, that's the reality of it, and it's very sad.
I had the joy of being able to go to a friend's 1 year clean celebration on Saturday.
Wow.
And I remember her in early recovery. And she came up, I was also in early recovery. I was about 6 months clean. And like at that stage, I couldn't really carry the message, man. I was just full rage shares from the floor. Like the world is burning and I'm on fire and I just need to spew it all out here, Then she approached me after a meeting and was like, "I really look forward to hearing you share. And, I can really relate to her, like where you're at and like what you're saying. And like that, just thank you for being so honest about it." And yeah, it was really cool, and she relapsed a little bit after that, but then like she did the whole using with knowledge, and then she come back and she got clean, and she just literally like last week was her 1 year clean, and it was so amazing to see. Yeah. So she only had like a month up, and then she relapsed and then got, was like, okay, I actually don't want to be doing this, and came straight back into it. Yeah. She went out and like did a little more research.
Just to make sure.
Yeah. And I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
So proud of her.
You would be.
Yeah.
You would be,
yeah. She's just blossomed. Like it's so good to be able to witness that. And
it is nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Like you were saying before about sponsoring, I've got a couple of sponsees, and like it's been a little tricky because I'm a control freak, and I've gone through the steps and I've gotten to this point in my recovery where I can see how much growth is on the other side, and like I just want to be able to share that, but you can't force people to do that. You can't make people get recovery. You can't make people get the program. You can just be a pillar of support, which is like what the reading was saying. My task is to carry the message and to lead by example, not design. Like I can't design the whole program so that my sponsees get it. You
can't
like
chain
I've
them
just
to
got to be as much as I want to pull out that whip and get your shit together.
They're gonna whip themselves into it ultimately. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're listening, call me.
Anyway, geez, it's a sad reality is that not everybody gets it, and for the ones that do, then we're the chosen few, and that's the thing is recovery is on offer for everybody.
That's it.
Everybody can, but you've got to reach out for it, and for the first step for me was accepting that help. It's like the other end of the 12th step. The 12th step is it starts, and I think, I imagine, I don't know, but a lot of the people listening won't be at that 12th step level yet. They'll be at that first step level, or they'll be at that second and third step level. And that was the most important one for me. The most important one is not actually the 12th step. The most important one is the first step, because without that, then we don't really get it. And if we don't realise that we are that powerless over our addiction and that we can't fucking live our lives doing this in this way anymore, then what are we going to learn? We can learn everything else, but you know, you can go to rehab 100 times, but unless you really admit your powerlessness and surrender to the fact that, you know, it was a very, very simple and easy decision for me to make, that I couldn't do it and I couldn't live my life like that anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So, and now that I've done that, I've gotten it out of the way, and I'm able to work on all the other important stuff, which is learning how to live.
I think it's great that, you know, that you've been able to make that like choice for yourself and like work towards like just having that active realization within your life. Like for me, like every so often, even still now at the moment, I've got some emotional shit going on, and like my will, my self-will, the negative aspect of it, it's just like, come on, let's do it. Like, let's just go out and let's just do it. And I have to like really center myself and really bring myself back to basics right now, and stick close to the fellowship, stick close to my support network, stick close to my program, you know? Like, God forbid.
I don't know if anybody's told you, but like, it doesn't mean that you can't act out. It just means that you can't use.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot of questionable behavior that you can do. And
online shopping.
Get that, online shopping. For me, it's doing burnouts in my car, you know, or like eating.
Oh my God, smashing whole packets of Tim Tams, like.
Oh yeah.
Carbs,
and
sugar.
Yeah, it's, you know, that, I don't know. We learn hopefully over time, you know, that we have to defeat that sort of, those mental pathways of doing that stuff. I don't say that you have to. I mean, I still haven't, but I feel like it's better if I can really learn to, all that spiritual shit I was talking about, you know, I need to take some of my own advice and work on that more than perhaps I should. And I've worked it out, but I'm not practicing it all the time. You know, it's not my default state, but I am aware of it. And that brings us to nice, smooth segue into what else we're going to talk about today, which is learning to see the bright side of recovery and laugh at ourselves. I think, you know, the best NA meetings, or the best meetings in general that I go to, are meetings that are filled with laughter. And yeah, this is such a serious thing, is that heaps and heaps of people die from addiction. And, you know, I think sometimes we just have to see the bright side of our experience, our shared experience, and learn to laugh at ourselves, because without that, then it just becomes totally dark. And, you know, I've got this chronic mental illness, this spiritual illness, and the chances are that we're all going to die from this if we don't do something about it. You've got to laugh about it. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit more after the break.
You're listening to the Recovery Cast by Hills and Rangers Private. Now playing daily on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. For more shows, visit us at www.rehab.melbourne.
Melbourne. It sounds like, yeah, they cut the NE off Melbourne. We shouldn't. .Melbourne. Anyway, .Melbourne. Don't put Melbourne into your browser. You won't get to the Hills and Rangers private website. Oh dear. All right, we're going to talk about making jokes about recovery and how it's actually really funny to laugh at yourself. So, I mean, it's one thing to make jokes in meetings. It's one thing to make jokes to each other. But the greatest thing, and the thing that I lose a lot of time to, which is good because it's less time spent inside my head, is on social media. And the thing that's come up in the last few years is this wonderful invention that's known as the meme. Recovery memes are the freaking funniest.
They're everything.
I love having a good belly laugh over a recovery meme. Let's read some memes. Shall we? I don't know whether we're allowed to mention Instagram accounts where these are on offer.
They're not public figures. Like, they're not. You know.
Maybe we should give them the credit that they're due. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of. I mean, you don't even have to know their names to find them. If you go onto Instagram or Facebook and you look up recovery memes, there's so many. You know, what's the, can you read out, like, let's explain a meme for our listeners. Okay. Let's show them or explain one of their memes. Yeah.
Hold on. 1 second. Well, I have here.
I couldn't care less if we stop talking, because regardless of if we're talking or not, I'm still going to romanticize the idea of you that I have in my head and make myself cry later. That's relationships and recovery. I don't know.
I've got one here which I absolutely love, and I actually reposted this onto my account, and it's it's a picture of SpongeBob looking very confused, open-mouthed and wide-eyed in a little green dressing gown, and above it it's like when you show up to the orgy but it's actually an intervention. I love it so much. I
don't understand how. Like, are the people that you're supposed to be having an orgy with intervening? Like, you know, we're very concerned about your behaviour, or is it you know, mum and dad and your family invite? We're going to have an orgy later. Do you want to come? And then you walk in and you're like, we're going to intervene. If your family's having an orgy, then I think you're probably in a bit more trouble than addiction. But yeah, I get it. Maybe it's in like Alabama or something. I don't know.
I got another one, and this is from a recovery account called Champagne Free. But it's spelled CHAMPAIN free. Like, good play on words.
I see what they did there.
And it's like attempting to have faith in my higher power, and then it's a picture of Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie in nuns' outfits with their hands in prayer.
Oh, wow.
So good. Like, legit higher power, where you at?
Catch me taking the edge off a series of disturbingly vulnerable texts with a well-placed lol.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean, yeah.
What have we got here?
I have to exist as a bundle of nerves inside a meat suit for some reason, and it really creeps me out. I'm looking at This Is a Flesh Prison.
Oh, that's such a good account.
There's a lot of...
Yeah, got to give them credit, absolutely.
Yeah. What's the other one? Oh, I'm looking at Brutal Recovery. Mm-hmm. There's some really good ones. What are we looking at here? There's two skeletons on a rack at like a costume shop or something on a Halloween sale, and it's like and they're looking at each other with their jaws open, like they're smiling at each other. When you find people who are just as dead and damaged inside as you after getting honest about your addiction, depression, and trauma, that's wholesome. You know, because we are, in many ways, we are like that, and we are very happy to find each other and know that we're not actually alone. And I think that's where the humour comes in, because you know, go to your family Christmas and make a joke about digging for a vein, or like, you know, about stealing from your mum or something. You know, everybody will be, you know, but really, it's funny. It's really funny because only the people who have done it understand, and it's like we're in this exclusive club, you know, and it stops being a shame. I think it's breaking down that stigma, breaking down that very private, hidden kind of life that, you know, I used to live a very private and hidden life. I didn't want people to know about my addiction. And now the fact that I can laugh about it and share about it is incredibly liberating. And it sort of helps break down that guilt and shame that I used to have. And, you know, everybody's done, I mean, you know, I don't know about you, but I've done some pretty horrendous shit and some deeply shameful stuff, you know. But if you want to, you know, put it into a meme and talk about, you know, taking your housemates' bikes down to cash converters to you know, to sell them so that you can go and get on, you know, like that's all the more power to you. I think it takes away that shame and it gives you power. You know, what do you reckon?
Yeah, so for me, especially coming into recovery and early recovery, like I use humour as a coping tool, and it's such a great one. Like I felt like my life was just fucked, and I was in so much spiritual, mental and emotional and physical pain, you know, and everything just seemed so serious. Like I just like, you know, it was like, oh, I have to do all this work. I'm sleeping for like 16 hours a day. I can't think straight. My head is foggy. Like, and like I have to go to these meetings and like listen to these people and like just try to get it through the next minute, the next hour, the next day without picking up again. And when like I started to like find, recovery topics that were like really, really like twisted, like that that suits me. That's my style. Yeah, I've got a twisted and dark sense of humor, and being able to reflect on how disgusting and how appalling I have been in my recovery, in my active addiction. Like it helped me settle, and it brought me closer to something where I could be like, okay, you know what? Like I've done that, like I've done that, and like I'm not alone, and it's okay to laugh about it because I'm not at that point anymore, and I can move forward, like having that humor really helped. Like, and memes are life. Let's be serious.
I got one here. Is your child, this is from Alcohol Anonymous Memes. Is your child texting about their 12-step program? BYOB, bring your own big book. SMD, stop my denial. DTF, down to forgive. FWB, friends with Bill. BTW, brain too wet. IDC, I don't crosstalk. WTF, where's the fellowship?
That's
IMO,
so good.
it's mental obsession.
Yes.
I like this one. SMH, serve my home group. Oh, this is the best one. LMAO, let's make amends, okay?
I love that. Oh, God. What else have we got here?
I don't get what this is. Aha, don't worry. It's a guy coughing. Aha, don't worry, guys. I don't have COVID. I'm just coughing because I choked on my own spit again.
This is one I like from Relapse Row. You may be on her Snap story, but I'm on her 4th step. Yes. Oh,
wow.
The hilariousness.
Yeah. Well, look, if you can't laugh at the thing that nearly killed you, then I think it's kind of healthy. Is it? I don't know. It's it's funny. I get a good kick out of it, and even in that early stage, I think we find that comfort in the fact that there are other people going through the same thing, and that they're able to laugh at it, and we're able to laugh at it. Sometimes I get triggered about AA people making jokes about NA. So because obviously I'm an NA guy, I saw this one of it was like a still from a zombie movie, and it's the caption is when you decide to go to the NA meeting, and it's got this zombie coming towards you with its arms out like it's trying to give you a hug. And it's like, yeah, what are you trying to say about us NA members? Yeah, maybe we look like that, Yeah.
There's another one here, and I like it a lot. It's if Rehab's had a gift shop that sold souvenirs about the experience, and it's a picture of an Adidas slide as an ashtray. It's so good.
Nice. What about Suboxone jokes?
Oh, yeah, there's one up here. Oh my God, I just went past it. Does anyone? Oh, what was that?
I think that's that's a comment section on Facebook because these meme accounts have Facebook pages as well, and there's a lot more of those comment section fights about stuff like Suboxone or marijuana maintenance, things like that. Like, there's all these people that are like, oh, I don't do heroin anymore because now I smoke like a pound of weed a day, and I don't steal from my family. And I was like, oh God, I think. Yeah, I'm of that total abstinence, complete abstinence.
Yeah, of course.
Camp.
Of course.
And there are a lot of people out there that aren't, and I honestly don't understand them because if I went and did one thing, then I'd just be out doing all the other stuff as well. And mate, that's just me. I reckon it's a lot safer that way. I wouldn't try and experiment and try and have a drink instead of a smoke or something like that. It's just so much simpler. But it sure is funny to kind of make jokes at it's very sad and dark to be making jokes at other people's expense. But
Yeah,
God,
no, you've got like that's just a whole other level.
Yeah.
Like I don't ever want to be doing that. I'm only ever making jokes at my expense, and if you can relate, like hell yeah, like come laugh with me. And if you can't, like it's okay because it's not about you. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Look, I think when it's at my expense, it's truly the funniest.
Yeah.
Compared to like I don't know. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the making fun of other people, but God, some of those Suboxone jokes are funny, and that's not my story. Like that's not my experience, but I think that they're definitely like I'm not just an alcoholic, but I really relate to a lot of those alcoholic jokes and the AA jokes. But I also, there's something out there for everyone. And I think that's the thing about recovery is we have to find our own path. And, some people may not like to laugh at themselves about it because it may have been very dark and troubling. But I think for me, there came a time when I was able to see it in that light and have a laugh at myself, and it was therapeutic. So
yeah, so therapeutic.
My challenge, my daily challenge for people is to, try and follow some of those meme pages and have a laugh because it's a serious disease. It's whether you think it's a disease or not, whatever. It's a serious thing, and sometimes you just have to laugh because if you don't laugh, you probably cry.
That's right.
And I know which one I'd rather be doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although, hey, it's okay to have a good cry too. I haven't cried for months. Maybe that's my toxic masculinity at play there. I want to cry, but I can't.
Because I'm a man.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't even particularly, identify as a big masculine man. Like my girlfriend beat me in a fucking arm wrestling contest. I'm a soy boy. I'm a soft boy. I still just, I want to cry, but I can't. Sometimes crying is such a good release. So yeah, laugh, cry. We don't care. Do whatever you want. Stay clean. Stay sober. That's our message for you today. And yeah, in the meantime, do you want to take us out? Say thank you for listening to the Recovery Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Recovery Podcast. If you have any curiosities about anything that we've talked about today, I encourage you to go to www.rehab.melbourne.
Nice.
And yeah, have a good day.
That's it. All right. Thank goodness that you can do that because I'm getting sick of it.
I scrambled, but it's okay. Pulled it together.
Awesome. Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
See you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Recovery Cast. For more, visit us at www.rehab.melbourne.